Launching. Forget everything you thought you knew about happiness, money, jobs, and lifestyle. We're educating ambitious people on real freedom. This is Operation Freedom. Here's your hosts, Austin and David.
You know, we're supposed to get in some more, supposedly, getting more snow this coming week.
Oh, I hate that, yes.
I'm not too happy about that.
And right before we go to our business meeting, it's disgusting.
It'll probably... I'm not saying probably.
I'm not going to let it deter us, though.
No.
We're going to go if there's 15 foot of snow on the ground.
We are. And
we'll dig our way all the way to South Carolina.
And I'm not going to say probably, because I was getting ready to. Yeah. But it might create a challenge, but if it does, I'm kind of excited about that, too, because overcoming challenges.
Every challenge, yes.
Yeah.
But, and see, that was on national news that there might be something coming. Then I looked on weather.com, and it said next Wednesday, when it's supposed to be here, that the high is going to be 44. So,
yeah.
I think it's just going to be rain.
It has been known to be fickle. I wanted snow at the beginning of the season, but now we've gotten more than a normal.
I hate snow.
I enjoy it for a while, and also I like snow cream. So
I want to go to Hawaii and ignore winter.
I guess I'm kind of I can live anywhere. I guess. I mean, I would love tropical areas, but I don't mind cold places either. I like New York from what I've seen. I've never been there, but and I don't mean just from like a Hollywood, kind of this is New York kind of deal, but
yeah, there's also the GTA 4 deal.
That's true. That's true. But I don't know. I could live.
Well, so this is our first episode.
It is, and I'm very excited because after the first episode comes the second one.
That's funny. Oh.
Yep.
What are we going to be discussing on this particular episode?
Well, we've got a interview with Trev Moore.
That's right.
Getting to sit down and privileged enough to have some of his time.
He is one awesome man.
He is, and just answer some questions that we had for him that I think a lot of people will have, especially if they, like, as for me, and also as you, David, we're independent business owners, but for people that, aren't going to be familiar with that or what that entails, I think he'll do a good job of answering the questions that some people would have. And even if they are familiar with what that would entail, I'm sure it'll be a lot more. It'll be good clarification.
I don't think you can really actually ever learn all there is to know. And any time you have a discussion with somebody that is in a position to have done more, you can learn from them.
Yeah, and, absolutely. But he does do a fantastic job at laying down a foundation.
Absolutely. It's phenomenal how much you can learn from somebody.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and especially, and this definitely doesn't apply to Trev, but you see people that may not be like intelligent or what you would think to be intelligent. I'm trying to say this in a way that, like I said, this doesn't apply to anybody.
Trying to be PC here.
But I mean, I'm not a parent either, but I've gathered that your kids can teach you a lot.
Most definitely.
And even when they don't mean to, they can teach you a lot. And I was going somewhere with that, but I don't remember where. So
I can't help you.
But I mean, you can learn a lot from all different kinds of people.
This is true.
I believe that every person that you encounter, you can probably take something away from that.
Most definitely. But closer to the point, what Trev will be talking about, and basically what's going to be explained is exactly what an independent business owner is.
Exactly.
It's totally different, I think, than traditional business. But I'm not going to steal any fire from Trev.
Yeah, definitely. Trev's got some important things to say. Yeah, I don't want to steal any thunder from him. And also, we're going to be analyzing the book Prosumer Power by Bill Quain, and that's a really good book, and it's a really good book for our first episode, specifically because, I mean, it's, we're starting out for people that don't have any previous knowledge of what we're going to be talking about. It's definitely a good first step to gaining the mentality or understanding the mentality at least. And
yeah, because people are going to be listening. What in the world is a prosumer?
Yeah, and we're gonna answer, little questions like that whenever we do our book analysis.
Have you ever Googled it?
Googled the word prosumer?
Yeah.
I haven't. What?
There are several different definitions that people are using today, and none of them have anything to do with this book.
Really?
Or what the definition that prosumer means in this book. It's even in the medical field with dealing with patients and stuff, and it's crazy.
Yeah, so folks, don't even bother Googling it because you're not going to get what we're going to tell you.
Exactly. This is exclusive knowledge.
It
really
is. So yeah,
buy the book, by all means.
Yeah, and it would definitely be a good investment for yourself to purchase it, and there'll be a link in the show notes of how to get that. So
oddly enough, it's an older book. I think it came out in like 2002.
Yeah, but there's some things that are transferable. I
Yes.
mean, they're timeless, I guess you could say, where it can relate to you no matter when it's written. Alright, well that's just a little bit about what we're going to be doing in this episode, and we are going to go over to our interview with Trev Moore. Awesome man, we've already talked a little bit about him, and
Absolutely.
yes, he is fantastic. And so here's our interview with him that we did just a few days ago.
And we'll come back a little bit later.
Yes, so enjoy this, guys.
Hey folks, we're here with Trev Moore, a very successful independent business owner, and we're very privileged to get some of his time today to do a little interview here. Trev, why don't you just tell us a little bit about before you were an independent business owner and where you were in life before that all began?
Okay, Austin. Several years ago, I used to live in Lenore and was married, have a son, and at that time I was working in the school system, had a full-time job, and outside of that I had 3 part-time jobs. And I guess I would consider myself kind of average, just kind of making a living. But I wasn't satisfied with that, and so I was growing weary and working, trading all those hours for dollars. And so I started investigating a little bit, and I met a business team. And their leadership is by LTD. It stands for Leadership Team Development. And this really attracted me. Why? Because it gave me a chance to be entrepreneurial. And in other words, be in charge of my life, go out and do things that I could control. And so once I became a part of this team, a lot of things started changing in my life. I guess one of the biggest things was I started associating with people that had already been successful in life. And so I had a good example to look at, to use as an example for myself. And then they did some recommendations, like they were recommending some books that I would read. And so a couple of books I'm going to mention that really impacted me big time was one was called The Choice by author Og Mandino. And this book just really solidified it for me that everything you do in life is by choice. You can choose to succeed or you can choose to fail. And so that book really impacted me. I wasn't a big-time reader at that time, but I realized the importance of the people you associate with and the books you read. Another book that really set me forward was a book called The Dream Giver. And in this book, it gives an analogy of a person pursuing their dream. And in that pursuit, you find out that once you start a journey of not being average, but chasing something that's important to you, all of a sudden you start leaving an arena of familiar, and you usually get a lot of challenges during that time. People that mean well, but they just don't understand really what it takes and why you're going in a different direction to be successful. And so that's kind of a test, I think, in life to see what you're really made of the character that you have, because if you can go through that part, it emboldens you to be more of a business owner, more of a leader in the community, a better husband, a lot of things that just improves your life. And so if I could tell you where I went from where I was several years ago to present day, it's because of the books I've read and the people I've associated with. And, I said when I began that I had a full-time job and 3 part-time jobs. During that period of several years, I was able to eliminate the full-time job and the 3 part-time jobs and primarily go part-time, helping my wife with her accounting business, but being a business owner and owning my own business and the pride that comes along with that of having success. So pretty much that's where it was at that time.
I just want to ask you, Trev, you were talking about this LTD, and could you elaborate on that? And also, you were talking about the books that you've read.
Hey, that's a great question, David. Actually, LTD, I mentioned earlier, it stands for Leadership Team Development, but it's a group of businessmen and women who have already had success in life, and they offer a mentorship program, which is giving suggestions. And one of the things that was important to me was get control of my finances, and I knew that working just a lot of jobs wasn't doing that, and how I'd look at their lives and I'd see that they had got out of debt, that they were very successful financially, that they had financial freedom. What does that mean? That means lifestyle. That means that being able to choose what you want to do in life without money dictating whether you can do this or do that. And so when I started that joint relationship with LTD, they would suggest books. And when I'd read those books, it would help me understand their thought process, because the difference between someone who's successful and someone who isn't successful is just the way they think. And I realized that's what I had to change first in me. And so the books, when I would read a book, I would hear things that I haven't heard before, and it would change my thinking. So I was able to take that and apply it. And through that process, I was able to eliminate debt. I was able to put myself in a better financial situation, which gives you, in my opinion, peace, joy, and happiness, which is a thing that I think all people want to strive for.